This is the third of a series of 7 videos which are aimed at the exercise of unpacking the idea of holistic design and flexible delivery. This specific video deals with the idea of technology functionalities and media selection. The videos are based on an assumption that one should take a holistic approach to design of programs for flexible delivery and e-learning. That is, they should take consideration of organisational, technological and pedagogic perspectives. They should also consider the program cycle and consider each element of that cycle in turn. One model that has been presented in terms of considering a holistic approach is that of Berson 2004. This model also looks at the role of technology. There are a range of uses of technology in education. These include resource distribution and presentation, assessment, research, communication, knowledge construction, student support and student management. Examples of resource distribution and presentation include the capabilities of email, whether it be private or group-based, and the use of web-based technologies which enable the distribution of text, audio and visual. In a classroom situation, there is also the possibility of projection of digitally produced artifacts. In terms of assessment, technology has enabled computer-managed assessment. This can be implemented in a number of manners, including secure assessment, where passwords and supervision are required, and non-secure assessment, which are often learner-driven. At a more basic level, submission of assignments and the use of software which checks for plagiarism have become commonplace in the university sector. Technology has also enabled a much quicker and broader scope of research to students. This includes web searches on favourite search engines. It includes database searches and e-journal searches in libraries. In terms of communication, a range is possible. This includes one-to-one private communication and one-to-many public communication. This communication can be asynchronous or synchronous. In terms of knowledge construction, technologies have enabled a range of approaches to education that were not possible before. These involve group activities and communications in either a synchronous or asynchronous way. They often involve problem, project or scenario-based approaches, sometimes including role play. Technology has also enabled the use of simulations. These can be lower level simulations in the form of text instructions. They can also be in the form of very high level production standard simulations such as those that one would see on expensive game technology. Technology has enhanced the ability to provide student support in the library, through welfare and pastoral care, largely through the availability of information on intranet and internet, and the ability to communicate, make appointments with counsellors, etc. In respect to specific technologies for the support of program design, Bates and Poole provide a useful device in their sections model which is specifically designed for the selection of media. Sections stands for students, ease of use, costs, teaching and learning, interactivity, organisational issues, novelty and speed. It proposes that one should take consideration of the needs, expectations and resources available to students, the ease of use of the technology, the costs of implementation and use, specific teaching and learning considerations, including the preferences of individual teachers, the vocations in which they work, and the demands of the regulating authorities under which they are controlled, the level of interactivity that the media provides, organisational issues which have been discussed in an earlier video, the novelty factor which is sometimes influential in promoting an engagement, and finally the speed at which the technology can be rolled out, maintained, and the speed at which data transmission is possible. In this video, we've looked at the capabilities of technology and one model for the selection of technology. What we haven't considered here is the more technical aspects of technology selection, which would generally be the premises of IT specialists. This is not to suggest that such an input is not important. It is simply beyond the scope of this particular video. The major point that I would like to make here, however, is that IT specialists should not dominate the discussion. They should be part of the discussion and cognizant of both organisational and pedagogic requirements if implementation is to be successful.